Hey, I'm Adam Schweikert, and welcome back to our channel where we help entrepreneurial companies take a real world approach to process. Today, let's talk about a simple, proven way to align your team and extract processes without all the burnout. Oftentimes, we try to address process through drinking through a fire hose. We go at it as just an all out sprint with very little direction or purpose. And so instead of trying to take an all you can eat approach, when you work on your processes, you really want to chunk this down into smaller, bite sized pieces that your team can actually digest. What I mean by that is what we recommend works best is an hour twice a week. Typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you set aside an hour to say, this is when we're going to work on our processes. This gives your experts time to prepare and reflect and come to these sessions and not feel like it's a total fire drill. They can plan for these, put them on their calendar, and mentally prepare, because a lot of times we find that people just are not in the right headspace to do this because they're jumping from call to call and they didn't know that today was the day to work on process. So chunk it down. Tuesday, Thursday, an hour each. The second thing, we want to make it visual. Making it visual really allows your people to think in different terms compared to if they were to just write their process down. Making it visual allows you to point out and see different opportunities in your process and see how points interconnect. Using a process map helps your people visualize things in a way that they never could before, and really eliminates a lot of that burnout that people have, just because people are tired of dull, mundane Word documents and arrows and screenshots. And finally, the last piece you want to do here to avoid burnout is to make it collaborative. So many times we've seen where companies just say, go document your processes or write down what you do here. They'll send somebody off to their department to take their best guess approach, is to say, I think this is the right way to do this by myself in a silo. Nobody else is working with me on this. So that's pretty lonely. What you want to do is create more of a team effect here. So you want to set your subject matter experts up with a buddy, like an accountability buddy. If you were to go to the gym and you knew that person was going to meet you there at 6 a.m., you didn't want to let that person down. And that's really the same effect we're advocating for here, is that we want you to have a buddy that you work on these processes together with. Making it collaborative takes your experts out of isolation. You're putting another mind in the room, preferably someone else who has a hand in that process or maybe works alongside them, to really have some back and forth banter around process. Because what you don't want to have is just a completely rubber stamped process by one person that might not be agreed upon by someone else within the company. By bringing more heads into the room and making this collaborative, you're creating accountability that we are actually going to show up and work on these processes at our agreed upon time. And you're also creating a back and forth approach to where you have more of a judge and a jury, some push and some pull when it comes to these things. So you're able to massage out your processes easier than if you were doing this by yourself in a silo. It's extremely lonely. I don't recommend anyone go there. To recap everything, number one, make it bite-sized. Tuesday, Thursdays, an hour each. Don't go long. Put it on the calendar. Make sure people can plan. They don't like surprises. Number two is make it visual. Do it in a way that hasn't been done before. Visualize things. It makes it more interesting, more collaborative, more productive when you can actually see your processes come to life. We have a great template for that. It's in our learning center on our website. And finally, make it collaborative. Bring a few people into this effort, because doing it in a lonely way is just not fun for anyone. It feels like such a time burden. Bring a few people into this that can act as a sounding board for the individual that is documenting this process. You get a lot more out of it when you bring a few people into it. At the end of the day, your experts are going to be your greatest asset here, and you don't want to burn them out. Make sure that you bring in the right structure, templates, and approach to capturing these processes and knowledge that live in their heads. I promise you, this is not going to grind your operation to a halt. If this was helpful, subscribe to our channel and also check out the Learning Center on our website, where you'll find downloadable templates that can help with the visual aspect of process here, and many other videos that can be helpful as you go along in this process journey. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.